This is the Digi Byte 1 year overview reading for the year of 2026. It's currently June 8th, 2025, 7:04 p.m. Eastern Time. DGB at the time of this reading, 0.0091. That's USD. And the shuffle video for the 2026 reading was created on April 15th, 2025 at 12:08 a.m. Eastern Time. We went on vacation after we laid the card, so just get into it now. Now, what I'm going to cover in this video, guys, is the overall trend direction for DGB in the year 2026. We're going to give you chart behavior to look for when identifying the highest high and the lowest low for the year in real time. We're even going to give you week-by-week chart behavior. It's important to understand that the week-by-week chart behavior, it's the sequence of chart events that's most important to follow. Usually the timing is on point to the week, but there may be cases where you need to give the reading plus or minus 2 to 3 weeks of wiggle room. And the reason being is that not each card's energy will line up perfectly with 2 weeks of time. So just be mindful of that. And that's the main reason why I do not recommend trading this information without access to our Discord trade alerts and live trading view chart links, where we actually draw entries and exits for the stuff. They're game-changing services. Without that stuff as part of the total access subscription, I recommend paper trading this and seeing this as entertainment to prove to you that extrasensory perception exists and can be used practically in the real world. At the end of the video, after that sequence of chart events, we're going to review the 2025 reading, see how we did thus far to give you guys a good idea of our accuracy. And then we're going to come back and give you one of the best trades that we see in 2026. Followed by, I'll show you guys how to get those game-changing services at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Now, everything that I talk about, support and resistance, big moves higher, lower, that sort of stuff, this is all going to be relevant on the scale of a 1 year chart with 1 day candlesticks unless otherwise specified in the reading. Now, let's get into it. The overall trend direction and chart behavior for the year of 2026, a notable amount of decline. It's crossed with a lot of volatility, probably some significant price swings, maybe multiple lows or something like that. But overall, there's a lot of volatility, a lot of price change overall to the downside. Behavior around the highest high for the year, you're looking for a period of volatility. And within that period of volatility, we should see a highest high form, highest high for the year form. Usually there's a sharp drop in that volatility that will stand out, and it could be that sharp drop is right off of the high. Often it is, but not always. Now, behavior around the lowest low, the Queen of Cups indicating a sideways S formation within a channel. That could be that near the low we've got this sideways S that forms just at the low, or it could mean that over this period of the entire year of 2026 we have a sideways S formation, and that would indicate 2 highs and 2 lows minimum. We'll look at that in more detail and give you the timing of the highest high and the lowest low for the year as part of the total access subscription. Now, before we get into the week-by-week sequence of chart events, I just want to make sure where the whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. You do that by following the rule of karma for the channel. You go to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of all profits should be donated forward to one of these charities or a charity of your choosing. Just keep the flow of abundance flowing through the universe by paying it forward. And then 5% of the profits should be donated back to the channel through one of these links. It's a way to say thank you, and it's also a way to express gratitude. What you express, what you are, you attract more of. So when you're Hermes, no barking. So when you're grateful for something, you're attracting more situations and where you'll be grateful. This also leaves you with 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you're an angel investor of the channel. The universe is going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get into this day-by-day sequence or week-by-week sequence of chart events. So in the early part of January, we've got the Prudence card indicating some tricky chart behavior. We're likely to do the wrong thing impulsively here. It looks like we've got two troughs in January, one at the beginning of the month and one at the end of the month, with some sort of prominent peak or important peak on a 1 year chart scale taking place between those or within close time proximity to those troughs. Behavior around the January high, we have a notable move to the upside. Could be like a gap up, or more likely it's a big move out of oversold territory into the high. And there will be an important technical price level, important on a multi-year scale, highlighted in the later part of January. In early February, we attempt to establish support. A lot of volatility, more declining. And near the February low, we've got a failed attempt to break through key resistance, followed by decline through key support. The February high, we most likely see that more than once, either in the month of February or we'll see it again in March or something like that. When we decline from the February high, likely we're going to turn around and revisit that price level again in the not too distant future. And it does look like there's a lot of price change to the upside in the later part of February within a period of price swinging. In early March, we've got multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, sideways fluidity near the March high, equal amounts of bulls and bear inflow and outflow near the March high. So we probably are at a newer support level, or higher support level has been established there. And we do sideways fluidity for a little bit. The March low forms when we have a sideways fluctuating decline that precedes a notable move to the upside into the end of the month, where we should see 3 pokes through the same trend line and then another sharp drop, probably right on the cusp of March and April. I'm going to be cautious near the end of March not to chase a rally. I advise that you might be tempted to chase a rally there. So out of the decline that comes out of March, there's a pop and drop in early April. A lot of price change into and or out of the April high, the full card indicating like a gap or something. Looks like probably a lot of volatility there. And a big move to the downside off of that April high, with a notable reversal on a 1-year chart scale in the later part of April. The April low forms within close time proximity to a important resistance level on a 1-year chart scale, where we should decline from that resistance and then return to it in the not too distant future in the same month or in the following month or two. In early May, we've got bumping along resistance sideways, maybe breaking through and bumping along resistance sideways, but the majority of that behavior should be sideways bumping along resistance. The May high, we've got a decline from the May high, decline to and through support to meet another support. We rotate sideways along that second support before breaking down through more supports. And the May low forms when a rally along a diagonal trend line ends with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility into the low. There's an important range on at least the 1-year chart scale highlighted in the later part of May. Let's see if it's one end of the range or what's going on there. It looks like we might be bound, like range bound, in the later part of May, and then the behavior gets kind of erratic. Yeah, there's a big move out of a trough from the bottom of a range to the top of a range. In the later part of May, actually. And then in early June, we get into erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level, revisiting a crest that was recently a past opportunity within that erratic behavior. The June high forms within a period of sideways rotation, ending with a fast sudden move higher into the high. The June low forms when we have a sharp decline into sideways rotation at the low. And in the later part of June, we've got a decline that ends with a fast sudden move higher, taking us into a peak probably at the very beginning of July, where we likely establish support temporarily there at that higher price level. There's a prominent peak on a 1-year chart scale, and we decline from that prominent peak at the July high to revisit a support level that's important on a 1-year chart scale that we recently met in the not too distant past. There's a decline increasing with momentum moving forward into the July low, and it looks like an overbought crest that we sell off from through multiple support levels in the later part of July, where a rally is halted by a decline through key support. We've got another peak on the cusp of July-August, and it looks like we sell off from that peak down to and through support. We do a U-shaped reversal below that price level, break out through it to the upside, and then reuse it as support in the early part of August. 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level in around the August high, and a fast sudden move higher out of the August low into a breakout. Looks like there could be some real price swinging going on here. Fast sudden move higher out of the August low. There's probably a decline through multiple support levels in the later part of August, and then a breakout to the upside into a peak again. Breaking out through like the peak that we had around the cusp of July, August, most likely breaking out through it at least temporarily towards the end of August or early September, where we have a rally that turns over, creating a prominent peak and prominent trough on a 1-year chart scale. The September high forms with a crest when a rally turns over, creating a crest, and there's likely a sharp drop into the September low within a period of volatility. That period of volatility ends with a fast sudden move higher and a rally that increases with the momentum in the later part of September, taking us into a September high. An unexpected move to the upside within a period of volatility in early October. Advised to be cautious at the October high, not to chase a rally there. We have a sharp drop or an important trough within close time proximity to that October high, and then there's an important support level on a multi-year scale highlighted at the October low. Usually it can be relied upon. Usually we have a rally in the later part of October into key resistance, and then a breakdown from that resistance with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. And then in early November, we've got a rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting another resistance before pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. An important resistance level on a one-year chart scale highlighted at the November high that we've failed to break through many times before and or will fail to break through many times in the future. Usually there's a sharp drop from that resistance. It looks like probably towards the later part of November, a sharp drop, and we should flatten out at the November low, at least temporarily. Yeah, it looks like we might break off the October support to the upside, meet that powerful or that strong resistance at the November high, and then come back and revisit that same support from October in the later part of November. In December, we have a decline to and through support to meet another support. We rotate sideways along that support. The December low forms within a bearish price swings. There's a disappointing failed attempt to break through key resistance at the December high, followed by decline through key support. So it looks like it'll appear that we've established support somewhere around the cusp of November, December, giving us the feeling that we're likely to break through resistance at the December high. But instead, we turn around, we decline through key support. There's an important there's an important resistance on at least the one-year chart scale highlighted in the later part of December that we decline from and return to at least once, either in December or in the not too distant future, like maybe January. The sneak preview for 2027, more decline from a peak. That's what I'm seeing on the multi-year reading as well, which I'll talk about a little bit in the total access version. All right, my friends, so taking a look at the 2025 reading thus far, what's transpired is pretty accurate. The 2025, if you're wondering, it was created... The shuffle file was created June 9th, 2024, 5:13 p.m. Eastern Time. And what we have we have like this opportunity, this notable rally in early January, offering opportunity to open up a short position. And it looks like we go into lowest lows in February, possibly again in March. We have some peaks, but not highs yet. And then there's likely a lowest low around the cusp of May, June. Looks like we're pretty close. So these are examples of what you get. These are examples of chart drawings where we're in real time, ahead of time, showing you where we expect the price range to enter to help you with these trades, entry and exit into and out of these trades. This is something that you would see the full year for as part of the total access subscription. Again, I'll show you guys how to get that at the end of the video. But likely what we're going to see is this move to the upside into a highest high thus far. So somewhere within this range here, once we enter this ellipse into this. So there's a solid trade there. If you've got total access subscription, then there's a lot more. I get a lot more specific for you in there. Again, do not try and trade this information without the total access subscription. It's just not. Just don't do it. It's not as easy as it looks. But overall, this has been a really solid reading thus far, my friends. All right, so let's give you one of the best trades that we see in 2026. I like this Princess of Cups here at the February high. So what we're going to see is a prominent peak on a one-year chart scale at the February high. We should decline from that pretty notably. And as we decline from that, you could open up a partial long. If we go lower in the month of February, add to the long. If we go lower still in the month of February, add to the long. Basically, any price level below the high of February, while in February, will give you, like, once the high is established and the decline commences, any price below that high in the month, while still in the month of February, gives you a good opportunity to open up a long position. We should most likely revisit that price level of the February high again. It looks like probably within the price swings here in later February. Now, if it doesn't end up being in February, then very, very likely we would see it again here in March, where we have these multiple failed attempts to break through resistance. Either that or more likely the end of March. where we have those 3 pokes through the same trend line. Backup exit. Backup exit most likely is going to be here at the end of March, possibly in April. But really, really confident that there'll be a backup exit in September if you can hold out that long through all the choppiness. All right, guys, that's DGB for 2026. One of the best trades that I see. To get the timing of the highest high and the lowest low and all the best trades that we see, as well as those game-changing services for people serious about trading SO meta-analysis, you must have the Discord trade alerts and TradingView chart links. I'm telling you, it's the difference between consistently making money and sometimes making money, even though a lot of time you'll be right. But because you don't have the guidance, you might not realize it. It's really complicated to explain. I've been doing this 26 years. Take my word for it. Learn from my mistakes. Get those services. The way that you get those services, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, click on Order Now, or hover over Order Now, click on Subscriptions. Total Access subscription gives you access to everything that Early Access and Monthly Access have. That's the day trade alerts for SPY. The earliest access you can get to any of our public posts. It gives you the day-by-day sequence of chart events and the timing to the day for each month, the highest highs and lowest lows for these crypto and ticker symbols here. And then we have information, one-year chart information for 2025 for all of these crypto and ticker symbols here. They're not a drawing technically for all of them. Some of them don't have drawings, some of them do. But there's information, some sort of helpful information for each of these tickers in one-year chart frame and multi-year chart frame, a lot of them, as part of the Total Access subscription. That's $500 a month, guys. It gets you access to everything. You can ask any question you want on Discord. It doesn't matter. It's really the premier and most popular subscription. Much love and appreciation to everybody that goes ahead and gets that subscription. You guys are the reason we're able to put this content out regularly. And as always, guys, remember to follow through on that rule of karma. We're counting on you here at Tarot for Traders, and the universe is counting on you to follow through as well. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.